Were you surprised of all the backlash that you got with picking Lima, or when that list came out of opponents that supposedly Eddie Hearn is offered to face you on October 11th?
I mean, surprised, yeah, because that's not like who we wanted. You know, I asked for Ramos and Chuck and all those other guys. You know, and Lima was the only one that was available that took it. Everybody else either injured or got a fight coming up or mandatory. And like I said before, I'm glad somebody, I'm glad Lima took it. And he a top 10 guy and he a IBO champion. So, we're gonna handle him, get him out the way, and then, on to the next. We're gonna get busy.
Let your conversation always be full of grace, seasoned with salt so that you may know how to answer everyone. Colossians chapter 4, verse 6.
ここにいるうちの本物のスクールスポーツのために行こうぜベイビーバンとの国は気をつけて、現実になることがありますからね。
All right, guys. So I'm gonna be honest. I always try to be honest, and I always try to, as much as possible, cling to the truth and be as real and as authentic as I can with the viewers. And many times that's not fun. Many times I gotta come on here and I gotta be very blunt with people in boxing, and it's not fun because you get a lot of backlash. You get a lot of people constantly attacking you. But that's life. That's part of being a man. You gotta deal with people not liking you and misunderstanding you. So that's just part and parcel of being a man. But I'm really doing my best at this stage of my life to be gracious with all these fighters that I speak about, because I do have a higher level of respect for the fighters, believe it or not. But this whole Jaron Ennis, Usima Lima thing, that in itself is bad enough. But now it's like, guys, I can't make this up. I couldn't make this up even if I tried. The jokes are writing themselves. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Jaron Ennis did an interview yesterday with YSM Sports Media. Shout out to Brother Jamil. Tip of the cap goes to Brother Jamil. Go subscribe to YSM. Run his shit up. Get him to have, a gajillion subscribers. I wish the man nothing but success because he does great work. But he did an interview with Jamil. And in the interview, he said that, he wanted to fight Chuck. He wanted to fight Ramos, and I highlight the word Ramos because that's the key part of what we're talking about here. I highlight the word Ramos to say that he mentioned A. Ramos. Now he didn't specify which Ramos. He didn't specify if it was Jesus or Abel, but he said Ramos, right? And he said these guys don't want to fight him, so that's why he fought Lima. He's glad Lima took the fight. Blah 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 blah. That's what he said, right? Now look, Jesus Ramos, who doesn't tweet, Jesus Ramos is not a very active social media guy on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to call it. He hasn't tweeted in 7 months. Bro, Jesus Ramos came from the depths of the dead to come tweet and correct everything that's going on, because I guess he may have felt that Jaron Ennis was lying on his name, because he said, and I quote, as you guys saw in the beginning of this video, he said, and I quote, wrong Ramos. He sent my uncle Abel, who fights at 147, and offered to fight at 154. My uncle was available, but not for a BS offer with everything stacked against him. He played it smart by just saying Ramos, though. So look, Jaron Ennis exposed by Abel Ramos. Oh my God. Or my bad, Jesus Ramos, not Abel, because he was trying to fight Abel. He didn't make no offer to Jesus, or I don't even want to say Boots, because I know for a fact Boots ain't the one at these negotiating tables. It's Eddie Hearn, it's the people on his team, so they're not doing what they got to do. And as a byproduct of that, he's looking bad. He's looking like he's not really about that smoke, and he's looking like he's not really one of those guys. And it is what it is. I told you guys this many times. So one thing I've been consistent about on this channel, and you guys heard me say this about Mario Barrios, I've always said that a fighter is only as good as his team. And right now, you're seeing where Jaron Ennis is falling short. He's falling short in the team department, because Abel Ramos, he's a good fighter. He fought Mario Barrios. He gave Mario Barrios a good fight. Maybe Eddie Hearn watched the Maybe Eddie Hearn watched the Mario Barrios fight, as all of us did in boxing, with Abel Ramos on the Mike Tyson Jake Paul undercard. And maybe he thought that Abel Ramos beat Mario Barrios. Maybe say, you know what? Everyone's asking Boots to fight Barrios, or they were at one point. So why don't we get Boots to fight the guy that beat him, but at 154? That's my out of the box thinking. I mean, just when I thought it couldn't get worse, it's getting worse. And it's like, look, he's gonna fight Usima Lima. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. He's gonna get some Philadelphia Eagles players ringside. And I'm gonna quote a tweet. I forgot who tweeted this, but somebody I saw this on X. I saw this on Twitter. He's gonna go. He's gonna get a couple of Philadelphia Eagles. They're gonna get Jalen Hurts. They're gonna get some guys from the Sixers. They're gonna get Tyrese Maxey. Maybe they'll even get Joel Embiid if they're lucky. They'll get some Philadelphia pro sports stars to come sit ringside. They'll play Beanie Siegel. They'll play Freeway. What We Do 15,000 times. We still hustle when the sun come down. That whole song, and then Boots will fight Lima, right? Maybe he gets a knockout, or more predictably, he'll look good and he'll show off for 12 rounds, and have the built-in excuse of, this is my first fight at a new weight, and I needed the rounds in, and people in Philly will love it. Everyone outside of Philly, let me correct myself, because I don't want to group everybody in Philly. I know a lot of smart boxing minds in Philly that aren't just going to go for the bullshit. The Boots fanboys in Philly will be happy, all right? The rational boxing fans in Philly will be like, okay, whatever. Everyone outside of Philly will be like, yo, this guy is not what they say he is. And Boots will say, I needed the rounds. And we will all be here talking in about, 3 months, about when is Boots going to actually fight someone. Still, 3 months later from now, from this video, so... and after that, look, a lot of people are under the delusion that he's going to fight Virgil Ortiz. Guys, it's right in front of your face. Why do you deny reality? He's going to fight Yoenis Tellez. He's going to fight the Cuban. I've been telling you guys, and it's on record, I've been telling you guys since the Norman Sasaki fight. I've been telling you guys since I was standing outside of the Ota City General Gymnasium on Sean Tatel's Live that he's going to fight Yoenis Tellez, who's going to get elevated to champion once Crawford fights Canelo next month. Just be patient. Wait. I'm going to be right. That's what we do here on True School Sport. We tell you guys things in advance and I want to being right. Guys, we're going to be right. And it's going to be what it's going to be. But, Jaron Ennis is not... Listen, I want to apologize to Demetrius Andrade, because I kept saying that Boots and Andrade are the same. And there are a lot of parallels to their career, so I don't think it's a bad comparison. But there's one thing that's different about Boots and Andrade. You see, with Andrade... he was running to Charlo's press conference, Canelo's press conference. He was running down on these dudes trying to get fights. And he still couldn't get the fights. Even when he would do all the Mr. T, Club Lang impressions, even when he had the same promoter as Canelo, he still couldn't get the fights. So there were a lot of guys that didn't want to fight Andrade. High profile guys too. Right? It's not like that with Boots. Everyone wants to fight Boots. Brian Norman wanted to fight Boots. Tiafimo wanted to fight Boots. Devin Haney wanted to fight Boots. Virgil Ortiz wanted to fight Boots. Trayshawn Wiggins wanted to fight Boots. The guy at the grocery store wanted to fight Boots. Everyone wanted to fight Boots. So look, the only common denominator for why these fights aren't happening are Boots and Eddie Hearn. So you guys can pick one to blame. You can either pick Eddie or you can pick Boots. But either way, even if you blame Eddie, remember, Eddie is Boots' representative who Boots willingly not just signed with, but re-signed with. So the jokes writing themselves. They can't even make the right Ramos an offer. They talking about they want to fight Abel Ramos at 154. And again, if you're trying to cherry pick these welterweights and bring them up to 54, you're gonna have to make it worth their while. And Eddie Hearn probably doesn't want to pay more money because he feels like, this is a non-title fight. Why do I gotta pay somebody $600K or $700K for a non-title fight? Which I would agree with. Which is one of the truckload of reasons why I say that Jaron Ennis should have tried to fight Brian Norman Jr. at 147. But nonetheless, that is neither here nor there. I'm just highlighting this for future reference, because the way I structure my channel is I cover boxing on a day-to-day basis, or I try to at least, so that if I need to reference something, I can go back and reference it. So yeah, Abel Ramos or Jesus Ramos comes out of Twitter retirement to let everybody know that they offered the wrong Ramos to fight. It was Abel Ramos they offered to fight. Not El Mono, not the Monkey, not Jesus Ramos. So make of that what you will. Are you guys going to sit here and say Boots is a boogeyman because Abel Ramos, a 147-pounder, is ducking him? I mean, I don't know. You let me know. But leave your comments down below either way. It's all in good fun. shout out to Boots. You know, one of the top talents that, you know, as Coach Malachi Williams says, right now he's the eye test champion. You know, he's the eye test champion. You know, why would he need to be in a big fight, or why would he need to fight in a big fight if we know he beats everybody? You know, let him fight whoever he wants. You know, it's gonna happen one day. Boots is gonna be 30. You know, he's 28 right now, so we're gonna blink our eyes in a couple years. Boots is gonna be 31 years old, guys. He's gonna be 31, 32 years old. He's going to finally be involved in one of these big fights because you guys finally think it's okay for him to fight one of these big fights. And guess what? He's going to mess around and be the B side and get screwed over in all the negotiations. So keep playing these games. You win tacky games, you get tacky prizes. Anyway, you guys, leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dang It. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.